Well, I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. What, you're not going to do Farting Martin again, David? No, I'm sure as much as you'd like to hear Farting Martin again, maybe a different remix. Or maybe a jazz arrangement. You could do something really good on the trombone. Really sort of emulate the farts. Now, I don't know about you listeners, but I've had Farting Martin going around my head. All last night and all today, I've been walking around the house. Last week it was yodeling. And I don't know whether the people I'm in the house with are relieved that the yodeling has stopped, or are now just kind of thinking, oh, God, he's moved on to something worse. Now he's just going around the house singing Farting Martin and improvising verses. I mean, I've added another 6 verses to Farting Martin. I feel that it's probably an odd way to start a podcast by referencing each time the previous day's podcast, which chances are some people won't have heard. For the last few days, I've started a podcast by referencing the previous day. And if someone hasn't heard that, I mean, it could work in my favour. It might mean that someone hears me talking about Farting Martin and goes, oh, bloody hell, I missed that. I'll have to go back and listen. On the other hand, it could backfire, as Farting Martin is prone to doing. Backfiring. Oh, that's my microphone again. That's not my impression of Farting Martin. That's the microphone. I don't think it's quite recovered from the beatboxing. I think it's got a bit of spit in it. But maybe it's not the best idea to reference the previous podcast at the start of the current one. So certain people might get a bit disillusioned and switch off when they're hearing something about which they know nothing of for the first 2 minutes of the podcast. If you didn't listen yesterday, you're just hearing me going on about Farting Martin. But I'd like to think it would compel you to listen if you didn't listen to yesterday's podcast. Let me know. Are you a listener who didn't listen to yesterday and now has listened to yesterday because you've been compelled to by my introduction there? I was going to say, or are you a listener who has turned on the podcast, then grew disillusioned with it and turned off, but obviously they can't respond? If you're not listening to this podcast, please get in touch with us and let us know. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes, today's going to be a bit of a different podcast. Given that we're in this lockdown situation indefinitely, I'm starting to grow a bit nostalgic for gigging. I've not done stand-up or music for over 5 weeks now. I mean, when we are allowed out again and we do start doing gigs, I think the other 2 young'uns are going to be quite confused. The young'uns is the folk band that I'm in, because I'm aware that not everyone will know. Some people will be following me, maybe after yesterday's Farting Martin episode. I would imagine that's brought many new people to the table. So I'm in a folk band as well. I don't just sing about farting. But a lot of people, I imagine, who have maybe found me through the podcast will come to a young'uns gig and they'll be disappointed. They'll be hearing songs about the Spanish Civil War and they'll be going, why, we don't want to hear this. We want Farting Martin. And they'll get restless and they'll be shouting Farting Martin. And the other 2 will be like, well, what's going on? And then someone else will shout, do some yodeling. I thought, well, maybe what I should do to cure the pining for getting out and doing gigs is maybe revisit some old stand-up clips. So now and again on the podcast, I'm going to dip into the archive and I'm going to play a clip from the stand-up show. And I'm not going to play like whole routines and jokes that I would use again. I'm going to play little bits of things that happened that were unique to that gig. It won't happen again. Well, I say it won't happen again. I mean, it might happen again. It's only happened once, to my knowledge, this particular experience. And that is someone fell asleep during my stand-up gig in Nailsworth, near Stroud. I did a charity gig, and during my set, someone fell asleep. And I tried to ignore it for the first 2 minutes when I heard it, because I thought, well, maybe they've got a disability or something like that, and I don't really want to... Because as you know, I'm a very sensitive person. But then you could hear the audience were cottoning on to what was going on. They could hear the snoring. And I thought, I've got to mention it. Slight apology. This is for a 3rd day running. An apology to Claire, who says that sometimes if things aren't mic'd up properly, like my fiancée Ellie, because I'm wearing the microphones. And so now and again, she's a little bit quieter. Because she's a bit deaf, she struggles to hear. I'm just hoping that you won't struggle to hear this. Because when I record these gigs, I just record them from my phone in my pocket. So the quality isn't as good as it could be. And I've done some stuff to try and make it better and improve the audio quality. Unfortunately, that involves rolling off quite a lot of the bass, which means you don't hear the snoring as loud as you otherwise would have. If you can't understand something, just be aware that I'm hilarious. So if you're thinking, I didn't get that, remember the kind of quality that you get on the podcast. Think of your favourite moment. That's the kind of standard we're talking about. We're talking Farting Martin standard. So I'm sure we'll do more clips from stand-up gigs as this podcast series goes on. But here's a little clip from last year at a charity gig in Nailsworth. I've got all sorts of paradigm-shifting concepts that I want to address with my comedy. That's what you want in Nailsworth, isn't it? Paradigm-shifting comedy. So this is what I'm going to... This is what I want to... Are you okay there? If I just suddenly said the one word that's woken someone from their hypno, paradigm shifting. Oh, no one's going to say that. What is... Okay.
Also, I've learned from experience that if I don't talk about being blind, people in the audience will be whispering to their friends, trying to work out whether I am blind or not. It's very off-putting. They presumably think they're being discreet and largely inaudible, but of course, being blind, I have the superhearing ability of a bat. Which actually comes in quite handy, because I bloody love killing moths. We've got a fan of moth painting there. Don't worry, I'm sure that a Conservative will bring that back now. Moth painting, unfortunately. Oh, my goodness. Is it one of the... What? Do you think it's like a music hall act on? Oh, yeah. Excellent. Well, I mean, job well done. I think someone's fallen asleep down there. Come on. Did someone fall asleep?
Yeah, they have a story, yeah.
What can we do? Right, after three, let's just shout fire. 1, 2, 3. Fire! Evacuate the building! Has it done anything?
She's actually deaf.
Now, how long have I done, roughly, Gavin?
I haven't got a clue.
Haven't got a clue. I'll tell you what. I don't... The way you're going there, it reminds me, this is a great charity gig. I love doing charity gigs, and it reminds me of the time that I did a charity gig for a baby orphan sheep. And one of the orphan baby sheep was just, heckled me throughout. I was absolutely heckled by this baby sheep. Lamb bastard. Normally I would come out with my accordion, but for various reasons I haven't got that today. So what I'll do instead is I'm going to sing you a little song that I've never sung in a company. Well, I think it'll work regardless of the accordion. Feel free to imagine the accordion. It sounds a little bit like a person snoring. I mean, what he did is he's in the perfect key. Absolutely brilliant. Anyone wants to put some harmonies over the top. Actually, he is a semitone too low. Can someone just prod him in the ribs, see if he can move him up a little bit? I attended a séance recently. You won't believe who came through. It was the spirit of George Formby. George Formby told me that he had written a song from the grave. He'd written a song from the grave, which I think is very impressive because I imagine it's quite cramped in there. He wants me to be his musical conduit. So I'm going to sing this little song, and we'll just get the key there, my friend. I don't know what we can do. I feel as if we should. I tell you what we could do. Why don't we put the microphone next to him? Come in. Let's have a. There we are. Wonderful. Thank you. There we are. There you go. Hey, it's cheaper than those whale CDs. That whale music would be really expensive. Hey, any yoga teachers get a lot of that? So I'll say goodbye with this song. We need a bit of respect for the deceased George Formby, who was painstakingly. Oh my God! Now someone else. This is the spirit of George Formby. I'm sorry, George. Right. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to end with this. Now.
Thank you very much for listening. I'll be back tomorrow with something different. Until then, goodbye.